Are you paying attention to what's happening in Niger, folks? I know it sounds like a country way around the world, and we keep confusing it with Nigeria, but it's really big news, folks, because the United States is instigating a war, a regional war. We're not talking about one country. We're not talking two countries fighting each other. We're talking about a multinational force partnered up with the United States, invading the country of Niger, and multiple other countries coming in and providing economic support and military support and potentially troops on the ground in order to defend the country of Niger. Friends, when we start having multiple countries getting on either side of a war, this is a big deal. This is not stuff that normally happens down in Africa. We have multiple countries, Burkina Faso as well as Mali, saying that they will help defend Niger against any foreign aggressors. And then we have another alliance of countries that are saying we are going to invade Niger. And then, caught in the middle, we have 1,100 American soldiers on the ground in Niger refusing to go anywhere. Are they about to do something from the inside while a multinational force invades from the outside? Big stuff, folks. We're talking about regional war, or potentially the next stage in World War III. Let's jump into it. Welcome to the Poplar Report. I'm Steve Poplar. I'm an accountant by trade, but we track what's going on out there, both in foreign countries as well as economics and all that kind of stuff. If you approve of getting these type of videos out, please hit that thumbs up button. Let us know you support us and that you appreciate what we're doing. All right, folks. So the Niger, and we have to be careful here, not Nigeria. North of Nigeria is Niger, a separate country, completely separate country, a country where the United States has a major CIA drone base. That's how we're bombing stuff up in Libya, how we were attacking Mali and all these other places. Major drone base there, plus we have several other major bases inside Niger. The government of Niger was friendly to the United States, and then one day the Presidential Guard decided to arrest President Bazoum. It's a fun name, but he's not having a good time right now. He is under arrest right now in the capital of Niger. The United States has demanded that he be released. ECOWAS, the Economic Community of West African States, has said that he must be released and restored to power by Sunday night. So it's Tuesday, folks, and they haven't conceded. Allegedly, what's happening out there right now is, and I don't have any way of confirming this or not confirming it, but it does seem plausible. Niger is saying that ECOWAS, this Economic Community of West African States, are starting to pre-deploy troops to their southern border in Nigeria. Now, ECOWAS is kind of a collection of relatively small states that don't really have that much military power. The big players in ECOWAS are Niger, Nigeria, and Senegal. Now, Niger obviously is not on board with this, and Mali and Burkina Faso have said that they're going to send troops in to defend Niger. So we're seeing this square off where U.S.-backed and instigated troops are getting ready to deploy and are starting to set up bases along the Niger border. Just on Sunday, once the deadline was looking like it was about to pass, there was CNN noted a marked increase of soldiers coming into the capital of Niger to potentially defend against an outside invasion force. Now, it is interesting to note that even though the Presidential Guard overthrew the government, the military forces, the army of Niger very quickly decided that they were going to accept the new president, right? The new coup government. They were going to recognize the government, that they weren't going to fight against the government, that they were in league with the coup people. So they came on board with that. These are troops. Many of them are troops that were trained by the United States trainers in in the country. Now, one of the things I need to kind of point out here is, so we have 1,100 troops, and I'm saying military troops. So U.S. Army, potentially Marines, not that I've heard of, but I think it's mostly Army, probably some Air Force folks on the ground too. But then we have an undetermined number of CIA operators and stuff like that because they're operating a CIA drone base. That's probably in some way conjunction with Air Force personnel, but, you know, that's above my pay grade, right? And so the kind of troops that we have there are going to be people who are there to support the drone base as well. So you got the kind of the Air Force kind of nerds there, but then they are going to have security there that are, you know, who know what they're doing. But a large portion of the contingent in Niger are actually Green Beret trainers and people who are there to who are not just good at fighting, but they are good at training others to fight. So we're talking about special operations, a heavy special operations presence in Niger already. Green Berets they're tough dudes, right? They go through the special operations training, and they're not Rangers, but they have their own, but they're kind of like seen as on par with Rangers, but like different. They have different roles. Rangers are more like, they're like your assault force, right? They're special operations, but they're kind of like low tier special operations. Whereas the Green Berets are their biggest focus is counter insurgency, and mostly that's focused on training local national forces to do that. So they're very, very good at doing insurgency. And so when you have how many of these guys in Niger right now, I mean, you can dream up a better force for overthrowing the Niger government than the guys that are on the ground there right now. Now, they have closed the airspace. Niger has closed the airspace. No aircraft allowed in the airspace except for potentially some military flights that are coming in to support them. Possibly Wagner troops coming in to support the Niger government. They're planning on shooting anything else down. Now, what do we have, the United States, in Nigeria, down to the south? The United States doesn't have a formal base or presence in Nigeria, but we have been working closely with their Air Force to get them up to speed on the A-29 Super Tucanos, which are, it's like the, it's a light attack aircraft. It's designed for attacking the ground. It's basically a crop duster that they put missile pods on and machine guns on and everything like that. It's actually quite cool, but they're relatively cheap. They're not high performance, but Nigeria has bought other fighter aircraft, jet fighters from other countries. So Nigeria has a formidable military. They have 223,000 troops. So now, they're not up to the standard of a Western power or anything like that, but they are a formidable force there. Senegal is already saying that they're going to be on board with helping do this. Back in 2017, just for kind of a parody kind of idea, the government of Gambia they had an election, and then the government didn't want to step down, and so ECOWAS put 7,000 troops on the Gambia border. Most of those were Senegal and Nigerian troops, and once they appeared on the border, then the government of Gambia is like, yeah, okay, maybe we'll let the other guys be in charge for a while. So they did do that, and as of now, there's still 2,500 ECOWAS soldiers in Gambia trying to stabilize the country. These countries are all squashed right next to each other, so what happens in one is just very easy for it to kind of spill over to the next. That's why American soldiers are in Niger as it is. They're training so that they can, so that troops and folks can try to stabilize Mali with some of the radical Muslim folks over there And so there is genuine anti-terrorism stuff, but it seems like Mali's had enough of the United States intervention, and so is Burkina Faso. They're just like, no, actually, we want you to stop coming into our country and killing people that you don't like. So this is a major war that is preparing to light off. Now, some people are saying ECOWAS is basically just all bluff. Well, the deadline passed on Sunday, and now the move is, what will ECOWAS do? ECOWAS has promised military force if Niger did not release President Bazoum and restore him to power. That hasn't happened, and the government of Niger apparently has no intention of doing that. Like I mentioned, there are outside forces at play here. The United States is at play here. France, this used to be a French colony. They are very interested in what's happening here too. Potentially, I don't know that France has any military forces on the ground at this point. They may. But we also have Russia has gotten interested in what's happening here too. Wagner Group has talked about potentially sending some of their contractors down to support the Niger government. We don't have any word that that has happened at this point. But then again, our information coming out of Niger is rather sparse. Things could heat up in a hurry there, and we could be having a major regional war happening very, very quickly. How fast? I don't know. The Nigerian attack aircraft and attack helicopters could cross the border and start attacking targets in Niger any hour, any day. It could happen immediately. They could be waiting to get their troops up towards the border, and they might be trying to just, slam through Niger and get to the capital with their troops and lay siege to the capital. Or they may think it's just going to be a pushover and they can just ram through. Are they looking at linking up with U.S. forces in the country? The U.S. forces are mostly to the north and east of the country. Nigeria is to the south, so that's not exactly in the same areas. But so a lot of questions out there of what's going to happen next, but it could involve U.S. soldiers very quickly. All right, folks, I'm going to keep you updated on this as much as I can. And you have a good and safe day out there. If you want to check out any other videos from this channel, there's one right up here. I'll see you over there, or I'll see you later. Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report, out.